So yesterday, Judge Royce Charles Lamberth, 81 years old, Washington, D.C. District Court judge, nominated by Ronald Reagan way back in 1987. He said, hey, President Trump, you can't stop the federal prison system from providing gender-affirming care to convicts. I'm going to override your executive order. Judge Royce Charles Lamberth. The guy's a nothing. He's a nothing. But yet he's going to stop the President of the United States executive order. Now, he'll be overturned because he's a nitwit. If you read the reason is, he says it's cruel and unusual punishment that the American taxpayer not pay for convicts, all right, to transition their biology. That's cruel and unusual punishment. So we know what this is, all right? But I want to walk through it so you know what it is. So this lawsuit was brought by the ACLU, which is now a radical left organization, nothing to do with free speech whatsoever, okay? It was brought on behalf of 3 convicts who are men but want to be women. Fine, okay? You pay for it, pal. I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for your hair care. I'm not paying for anything, all right? Because my tax money is supposed to go to the country's benefit, not your benefit. All right, you punk. You pay for your own stuff. Now, the judge goes, oh, no. All the taxpayers have to do it. Now, he didn't say that we have to pay for surgery. We've got to be fair and report it accurately. But all the grooming and the dresses or whatever the hell else these people are doing. Again, this will be overturned. Now, in 2022, last available Bureau of Prisons info, about $153,000 of taxpayer money went to these people. It's probably quadruple that now, that the con is known and these prisoners go, yeah, I'm going to add, whatever they're doing, okay? And it is worth going back to President Trump's original executive order. So I'm going to read it to you. The Attorney General shall ensure the Bureau of Prisons revises its policies concerning medical care to be consistent with this order and shall ensure that no federal funds are expended for any medical procedure, treatment, or drug for the purpose of conforming an inmate's appearance to that of the opposite sex. That is the executive order. Okay? There's nothing cruel and unusual about it. It's cruel and unusual to take my hard-earned money and give it to these people for what they want to do. That's cruel and unusual. And believe me, the 2 most liberal judges on the Supreme Court, they won't see it that way, but the others will. All right, now, these judges that the ACLU, they shop to get the crazy left judges all over from Seattle to Key West. They know, the ACLU knows, who's going to be nutty enough to hold up a presidential order. And so that the ACLU files in those districts. When we get the con here, this has got to stop because it's just chaos. You can't have the President of the United States at the whim of corrupt ideological judges. Can't. Now, the Founding Fathers knew 2 things. They did not want a king. So in the Constitution, they designed it so that every president has oversight by the judicial system, as it should be. Because you could get a loon in the presidency that says, hey, you all have to wear purple socks or something like that. And the judiciary goes, no. All right, so that is in the Constitution, that the judges can constrain presidential activity if they say it violates the Constitution. This clearly does not violate the Constitution. And it'll go up to the Supreme Court. The second thing was that the Founding Fathers understood that Congress can't move fast enough to protect us. It can't. They bicker. Look at this spending tax bill. takes forever for these people to do anything. And back then there were only 13 states. Now there are 50. So the founding fathers said, we're going to give the president the power to issue executive orders to protect the people and the people's treasury, not to abuse the people. That's what executive orders are supposed to be. Now, they are subject to review from the judiciary, but now that's being abused to the highest level in our history. And the Supreme Court has to rule on it, and I assume they will this month, because after the end of June, they take 3 months off. So I assume that they're going to rule and knock this crazy stuff out to some extent. And that's the memo.